just on this, talking about England, this is what the issue is, though, publicly. So, Manava says, what do you make of Ben Stokes' statement that it turned into a subcontinent wicket? Sounded to me like it's spun a bit, hence this doesn't count. But this is what I know that you've got to understand that a lot of the comments that England make as a team now are made for the change room and not for the public or the press, right? That doesn't justify them, but that is a true thing. They've basically admitted this. They lost what 17 or 18 wickets to seam in this match. I'm not saying that Ben Stokes would have that in front of him, Robbie, but they lost almost all their wickets to seam. Basically, what he's saying is, I found it very hard to play Ravi Jadeja because the ball was coming out of the footmarks a lot. Yeah, and so I get it. I completely understand. At no stage covering this Test match did I turn to anyone around me and go, "Do you know what this is like? A subcontinental wicket. This was like a proper flat English wicket. That's what it looked like all the way through."
Yeah. And like I remember in 2006 and 7 when the Ashes happened, or 5 and 6 when the Ashes happened, Shane Warne was getting the ball to turn off the rough
Yeah.
exactly like Jaddu was trying to do. Exactly the same thing.
It doesn't
Nothing
happen
different,
all that much, but it does
right?
happen in summers where it's dry. And we talked about this before. I think someone put a comment in
Yeah.
before, why doesn't England do a green top and bring all their seamers in? It's like, I don't think you could have a green top at Edgbaston at the moment. It's been so dry. In fact, the only rain that they got was during the Test match, and that was apocalyptic, but only lasted for 5 minutes, luckily for India. But there hasn't been a lot of rain around it. I say that my actual house was flooded yesterday, but that's a different one as well. But yeah, I think that's quite interesting. But again, it's when they say things like that.
Where do you live, Jared? Foxes are eating your cables, your house is getting flooded because of a 5-minute rain. Where
I
the
will
heck
send
do
you the
you
photo
live,
of the
dude?
rain yesterday. Did you see the rain when it happened in Edgbaston as well? I thought I was in Gaul or Brisbane. Right, it's like, where is this weird tropical thunder, tropical rain drop? You know when you're in Brisbane and the rain just comes down in a sheet?
Stop evading
I
the
live in London.
question
It's about global
about where you
warming.
live.
El Nino? I don't know. Uh, I want to talk about one other thing. Did you read the Sid Monga piece on Crick Info this week about their softballs and everything? This is
No,
really fascinating.
no.
So, from 2016 until 2021, balls in England are nipping around everywhere, right? It's unplayable. It's really hard to bat even against the old ball, right? There were some times when it was like, remember there was a Test match in New Zealand played, and it was like, I think New Zealand were like, is there any point giving this ball away? It is swinging so much, even though it's the 80 over mark, that will a new one actually swing more than this? So there was plenty of swing, there was plenty of seam. In 2022, there was a manufacturing error with the Duke's balls, and they all went really, really soft. And it was completely by accident. And I trust Duke's when they say that. Since then, Robbie, we haven't had Duke's balls that have been hard again. They quite often go soft, and you're seeing it in county cricket as much as you're seeing it anywhere else. So we know that this is an issue. It is possible, and I say this. Let me give you the full story. We know that England have asked for batting pitches at times at home, right?
Oh, listen, you don't even have to tell me all this. I
Yeah.
already know what I'm going to
But
say.
did you see the boundary at this ground? So I had Lizzie Ammon from the Times rushing down the press box to say to me, Jared, is that where the boundary normally is? And I looked up and I was like, that is 10 meters in. And I literally went and had a look. Remember when Bumrah made that 35 or 36 runs off and over or whatever it was? I went and had a look, Robbie,
Yeah.
at where the boundaries were. They were like 10 meters further back in every direction when Jasper was, hooking all those balls and top edging all those balls, right? And so then we ask around. No one obviously says it officially, but also no one said that England didn't ask for this to happen. Is it possible that they have asked for the balls to remain soft because it actually helps in the baseball style? That's my question.
Listen, we know that the whole narrative about in England about making it a little bit more conducive for batters to score runs because the English batters don't have a lot of confidence, and you're not finding the next big English batter coming through the ranks after Ben Stokes and Joe Root, and now they're putting a lot of those hopes on Ollie Pope and Harry Brook, right? And which is why the wickets also in domestic cricket there have become a lot more flatter, drier, so that's a lot more easier for batters to score runs and come through the ranks. Because if the ball's doing slightly, if it's doing a little bit, then the batters are finding themselves at bay completely. So I'm not surprised that if like they could be saying it was an error that happened in 2021, but the balls have continued to remain the same quality. So then you can tell, and that was perhaps just a narrative that needed to be created,
Well,
and hope that
I
that would
think
be
I
forgotten
think to be fair, if
along
you
the
look
way.
back in that year that it happened, that was before baseball or anything else. I think, and it was also at the back end of COVID. I think you could. I'm willing to admit that that is possible. The fact that it's still happening, I think, is far more likely that it is. And
Yeah, and so I
yeah,
think the narrative has been set in that way to make it a lot more
yeah,
conducive for
exactly.
batters to score runs. And the thing is, earlier when say in the mid 2010s or the early 2010s, even when the Indian team came there, you had one really top bowler, and then the other ones you could really kind of
Yep.
manage and negate and all of that, right? Not the kind of bowling attack that augured you to take 20 wickets in a test match, like, and then they had to work really, really hard to be able to get that. Uh, and now
Mm.
that's not the case. You got a solid batting attack, you got a solid bowling attack, you got a bowling attack that was right up to a year and a half ago had Jamie Anderson,
Mm.
had Stuart Broad, and the likes of the other bowlers, Chris Wokes, Jofra Archer. It's a solid bowling lineup, and that can definitely take 20 wickets and then some. But you also had against India, you had the likes of Bumrah, you had Shami, you had late stage career Ishant Sharma, who was super effective. You had Umesh Yadav. So these are all equally good bowlers who can also get 20 wickets in a test match. So you want to be able to counter that and give yourself as much advantage as
Mm.
possible at home. So these are narratives that are set, but I think that you can see the sense of it as to why
Mm.
England are trying to do it, and they're trying to do it for their own good, and that's fair, especially
Well,
in home
this is the thing
conditions.
of South Africa were the first team to really just be like, we're just going to make our wickets exactly how we want them, and it's going to suit our cricket. India obviously followed suit. We've had Pakistan have gone all in on it recently, right? Like Pakistan started winning when they reused the same pitch twice, right? And they had like jet fans trying to dry the surface in some places. And if England is doing that, it makes sense. It's in first class cricket, because I watch so much first class cricket. To me, this is a normal thing. But if you don't watch first class cricket and you only watch test cricket, generally teams didn't do this in test cricket. There was like a gentleman's rule that you would try and make the wickets quite fair. Whereas now everyone's like, no, we need points for the World Test Championship. We need to win this next match.
Gentlemen, that's gone out the
Exactly.
door 10 years
Exactly.
ago.
And so I think it's fine. But also, we have to, people like you and me and Monga have to keep our eye on this stuff, right? We have to be talking about
Yeah.
it and everything else. There's a couple of
I'm all for being a
yeah.
romantic of the game, right? I'm all for it, right? I'm all for this game being a gentleman's game, but it has to be a gentleman's game across the board, through and through, right? It can't be like one team's like this and the other team's like this and the other team's another way. That's not going to work, right? People can get taken advantage of, and teams can get taken advantage of, and so you got to really do what works for you and give yourself the best chance to be successful, especially in home conditions.